See my enemies fall. Yeah. Hey, look, I just wanna bow. So my niggas stand tall. Cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s where they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. They all be bow too. And if be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Trying to build my own city, homie. Enough room to put my niggas on me. Just start a couple business on me. Fuck getting even, never shit on me. Yeah. Public housing we done lived through. Trying to put that in my real view. Gold rolls what I still do. I can see the picture with a clear view. Gotta separate the snakes. And all you fuck niggas just gon' hate. Man, pray to God I don't catch another case. But that's a small risk that I feel I gotta take. Only certain niggas they gon' be with. Still deliver verses on that real shit. If I get a couple million, I'ma bust this shit down with these children. I just wanna bow. So my niggas stand tall. Cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s where they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. They all be bow too. And if be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Hey, don't get up out of bounds on me. Got killers with them rounds on me. Look like a bed from the drums. But don't make me make the people rain down on them. I can give a fuck if you ride blue. And
Shalom Israel, we are the Isupk under Commander General Yohana coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group or no other organization for that matter. You can call in, this is the St. Louis class. You can call in at 712-775-7035, extension or access code 744252. We are located on 5261 Delmar Boulevard, Suite A, in St. Louis, Missouri, 63108. Today we're going to be talking about the lies of Christianity. So I got a few questions already to answer. The first question was, is praying over your food, is that something you're supposed to do? Now the Christian church being the biggest deception to our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we're going to start trying to break some of these lies, open some of these lies wide open, because all they're doing is using Christianity as a tool to further destroy our people. And we got to figure out what you can and cannot do, because according to Christianity, you can pretty much do anything. They don't keep the laws, they eat unclean foods, they do all types of abominations and different things like that. So today we're going to expose Christianity for the lie that it is. So with that being said, let's get Deuteronomy 8 and 10. Because Christianity is the mark of the beast. Christianity, the stronghold that Christianity has on our people is ridiculous. Especially the Catholic Church with our Hispanic brothers and sisters, the indigenous Hispanics and the Taino Indians and the Native Indians, or American Indians, whatever they want to be called. It has a big hold on our people. So with that being said, let's get Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 10. And it reads, when thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee. Now the Lord said, when thou hast eaten and art full. See, Christians, they naturally pray over their food, they pray over pork, they pray over all types of abominations, and they try to pray over it to make it clean, which it is not clean still. No matter how much you pray over it, no matter what you say, that food is still not clean. So with that being said, we see in Deuteronomy chapter 8 and 10, it reads that you pray after you are full. It said, when thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land in which he gave him. See, the Lord gave you something to eat. Christians love to pray before, let's all hold hands and let's do this and let's do that. That's all hypocrisy. That is nowhere in the Bible that it says you have to pray before you eat. Nowhere in the Bible it says that. We're going to continue to cut Christianity today, though. We're going to go to Acts 25, Acts 10 and 25, Shalaki. And we're going to read. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. Verse 26. But Peter took him up, saying, stand up. Myself also am a man. Like, right there, you should know that you ain't supposed to worship nobody but the Most High. Israel are not allowed to worship anybody but the Most High. You are not supposed to put no man above the Most High. No man, no thing, no anything above the Most High. And with that being said, let's continue to read. And verse 27, and as he talked with them, he went in and found many that were come together. Verse 28, and he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But God has showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. The praying over the food is you cannot make up laws. You cannot make up traditions. And that's what Christianity do. Christianity is derived from many religions and many different theologies and many different paganism sects. Christianity is made up of all of that. So with that being said, we know that, like the Bible just read, you don't have to, you pray when you are full. After you get full, then you can pray to the Most High. You give thanks. You're not actually praying. You can pray if you want to, but you give thanks to the Most High because you full. He gave you a nice something to eat, a nice portion for you to eat. You full. You're going to make it to the next day. So you thank the Lord always for all things. That's cracking that Christianity wide open. Like, we gonna break down all of that stuff, Also, it was a question online. A sister asked and said, "Is there actually fallen angels?" And when the Bible speaks of angels, it's talking about, Christianity teaches you that Satan or Lucifer, he fell from the sky and he brought 2/3 of the angels with him. Christianity always making up things. Always. Always making up things. So with that being said, we're going to crack that open too. Because she wants to know, are the angels fallen? Have the angels fallen? When it speaks of angels in the Bible, angel just means servant. Angel just means servant. And, and the angels that fell from heaven were us, were the Israelites. The Israelites fell from heaven, the condition of heaven. So with that being said, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Let's go to Job. Let's go to Job. Job chapter 1. And what verse is that? Job chapter 1. Yeah, because we gotta expose the lies of Christianity. Christianity is telling so many lies, and we need to just do away with Christianity altogether. Christianity is a tool that the white man used to further confuse us and further to keep us brainwashed, keep us from coming together and doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing. So with that being said, we're gonna read Job chapter 1, verse 7. We're going to start at verse 6. Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God, now the sons of God can either be talking about, sons of God is anybody who does the will of the Most High. That's in the scriptures. Anybody that does the will of the Most High, they are considered sons of God. Let's hold that. We're going to hold Job real fast and find that whoever keeps the law, statutes, and commandments are sons of God. And that's Romans chapter 8, verse 14. Because we got to crack Christianity wide open. We're going to hold Job, though, to show you that, the precept for that. Romans chapter 14, verse 8. For whether... No, this not it. Wasn't it Romans? Romans chapter 8, verse 14. Tripping. Shalaki. Get my precepts together. Because we gotta expose Christianity for what it is. We gotta expose Christianity for the lies, for the deception, for all the confusion it is causing our people, and furthermore causing them their lives. Romans chapter 8, verse 14 reads, For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. See, right there, that shows you, whoever is doing the will of the Most High, if you keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you are considered the son of God. And only people who the laws pertain to, and like in Psalms 119, 147, 19, and 20, it reads that, I'm paraphrasing, of course, it reads that, that Jacob, the laws only was given to Jacob or Israel. So with that being said, we know the laws is just for Israel. But all of Israel that keeps the law, statutes, and commandments are considered sons of God. That's doing the will of the Most High. When you treat your brother, you give him brotherly love, that's doing the will of the Most High. When you take care of your sister and you protect her and do them things, that's the will of the Most High. Whatever the law, statutes, and commandments is out there, that's what you do. You keep those law, statutes, and commandments, and that's the will of the Most High. You're being led by the Spirit of the Most High. So with that being said, we're going to crack some more of Christianity's false teachings, that is not actually in the Bible. Job chapter 1, verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God, like I told you before, sons of God are either the angels or us, the Israelites. But in this particular verse, you got to read the context. In this particular verse, it's talking about the angels that are in heaven. Because we cannot present ourselves, we cannot come in front of the Most High. We cannot go up in heaven and come in front of the Most High. So, with that context, you can tell that this is talking about in heaven. So it's talking about the angels, because the angels do the will of the Most High day in and day out. That's why they are sons of God. When we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, we are sons of God. Shalaki. Now, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Now, Satan is here coming among the sons of God, which are the angels. Satan is an angel. So it says the sons of God is coming to present themselves in front of the Most High. Now, look, everybody knows if you have an enemy, your enemy is not going to present himself to you. He's going to hide. You're going to have to catch your enemy. He's not going to willingly come to you. Shalaki. He's not going to willingly come to you. You got to catch your enemy. You got to catch him. You got to do whatever it is to expose your enemy, to catch up with your enemy. You have to do that. So, Satan came to present himself. Anybody know what present himself means? I'll give you a second. Anybody on the line? All right. Present themselves means to worship, to come and acknowledge. Now, why would Satan come and worship before the Most High? And if you don't believe that presenting yourself means worship, Shalaki, we're going to read some more in this verse. Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, which comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Now Satan is explaining himself to the Most High. If he's the enemy of the Most High, why is he explaining himself unto the Most High? Your enemy is not going to explain himself or herself unto you. They're going to be like, the hell with you. I ain't got to listen to you. I ain't got to explain myself to you. Furthermore, they most definitely ain't going to come present themselves to you. So, why would Satan be doing this? Why would Satan be coming to the Most High like this? Shalai. Yeah, why would Satan be coming to present himself to the Most High and explaining himself? The Lord said, where are you coming from? And Satan said, coming to and fro on the earth. Satan explained himself unto the Most High. So verse 8, let's read a little more. Verse 8, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that fears God and eschews evil. So the Lord asked him, like, why didn't you tempt Job? Because Satan was asking the Lord, he was looking for somebody to tempt. That's what Satan does. He looks for people to tempt. But Christianity leads you to believe that Satan is a fallen angel. He took 2/3 of the angels with him. That's a lie. Satan didn't take no angels with him. The only angels that fell from heaven were the Israelites. They fell from the heaven. There's two types of heavens mentioned in the Bible. There's the conditioned heaven and it's the literal place heaven. Humans are not going to heaven. We're going to rule on the earth forever and ever. We were made for the earth. That's where we going to remain. We was made for the earth. We was made to dwell on the earth. We weren't made to dwell in heaven. So, that's another false teaching of Christianity, that says that we're going to go to heaven when we die. Your spirit going to go to the Most High. The Most High do dwell in heaven, but you're not going to be dwelling in heaven. Like you're an angel or something. Your spirit is going to return back to the Most High. Your breath, the breath of life, going to return back to the Most High, and that's going to be that. It's no walking around in heaven, kicking it, singing Kumbaya, with the Most High. No, it ain't none of that. That's a lie that Christianity tells also. So let's get a little more. Because the Most High asked Satan, he was like, did you try Job? Did you try to tempt Job? So he asked him, did you try to tempt Job? But the key thing to these verses is, if you read in context, you see that Satan was asking permission to the Most High. We got to kill Christianity and all the lies that Christianity tells. Christianity has all the lies in the world. All the lies in the world. So, and we're going to break them down here today too. All right, let's read a little more. Satan said, verse 9, Shalaki. Verse 9, then Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for naught? Now Satan talking to the Most High. He like, man, don't Job fear you for a reason? He fear you for a reason. Cause you make him rich, you blessing him, you giving him multiple wives, you giving him all these kids, all these houses, all this cattle. You know, you giving him a lot. That's why he fear you. That's why he love you. Let him be broke. Take away that stuff. So Satan asking God to take that stuff away from him. He's trying to expose Job. He's like, man, I can tempt Job too. You know, if he wasn't blessing him, I can tempt him. He'll curse you out too. He'll curse your name and go against your law, statutes, and commandments, and he'll do whatever it takes because he a rich man. But once you take that away, you know, he's going to curse your face, curse you to your face. You know, so that's Satan's argument. You know, Satan just hates the children of the Most High, which is the Israelites. Satan hates them. You know, he really don't hate them. He just very displeased with the Israelites because the Israelites don't keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and the angels keep all the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They keep all the laws without fail, day in and day out. You know, so that's that kind of jealous because, you know, the Most High put us above the angels. We're not above the angels, you know, in regards of love that the Most High have for us. You know, so, you know, that's what Satan's deal is. So he like, man, I'm trying to get, they ain't gonna even keep your laws, Father. They don't even keep your laws. Why do you love them so much? Look at them. They'll curse your name. They'll do all types of stuff. Why do you love the Israelites so much? You know, why you put them above us? That's Satan's job, to destroy you. Satan's job is to destroy you and get you out of the truth. But he works for the Most High. He's not against the Most High. He's not going against the Most High. He works for the Most High. He like the Most High hitman. If the Most High sends somebody wants something to happen to you, he's sending Satan. And Satan is going to come and try to take you out. You know, he's going to tempt you. He's trying to show the Most High he's trying to show that you do not deserve the Most High. His love, his blessings, none of that. And that's Satan's job. That's why he asking the Most High, like, don't Job fear you for a reason? Don't Job care about you for a reason? You know, you blessing the mess out of him. You know, so verse 10, has not thou made an hedge about him? Now this is Satan speaking. And about his house, and about all that he has on every side. Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But, verse 11, but put forth thy hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. See, now Satan tempting the Lord to take his blessings away from Job. But the Most High, being all powerful, all knowing, he knows what's going to happen. He knows that Job is faithful. That's why he said it in the beginning. Why you want to tempt Job? You know, I know he's faithful. The Most High said it already, and Satan like, yeah, all right, Father. If you take away all the good stuff that you gave him, I guarantee you're going to curse your name. You know, so that's Satan's argument. Now, verse 12. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he has is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Now Satan left the presence of the Lord. But the key thing in this verse, in verse 12, is that the Most High gave Satan power. Satan didn't automatically have power. The Most High gave him power to do whatever it is that he wanted to do to Satan. But he also gave him a rule too. He said, don't take his life. You can do whatever you got to do, just don't take his life. You can tempt him in any kind of way you want to, just don't take his life. That was an order. Satan never took Job's life. If Satan is the enemy to the Most High, why is he getting permission to do things? Why you got to come ask permission to do things? If I was somebody's enemy, I'm not about to go ask my enemy, can I do this and can I do that? I'm just going to do it. So, Christianity, it has numerous of lies in it. Has a number of lies in its teachings, and its everything. Everything about Christianity is a lie. And furthermore, it's the mark of the beast. Christianity is deceptive. It got a hold on our people, a strong hold. Christianity is worse than drugs. Christianity is killing our people left and right. Because the Lord, the white man knows that we supposed to be following the Lord's laws. The reason why it's killing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the reason why Christianity is killing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is because that, they're not keeping the laws. Christianity is not telling them to keep the laws. So, for that reason, they are dying. They are falling by the wayside. They are perishing. So the Lord's children are perishing left and right. So we're going to get into chapter 2 because, like a lot of people still going to say, mainly Christians, going to say that, okay, that don't mean nothing just because it's common sense, but sense ain't common in the Christian church, so we got to break it down to the smallest fraction. You know how your teachers say, you come and give them the right answer, but they say, no, break it down to the smallest fraction. That's what you got to do for Christians, because they ignorant. So we're going to read chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. Now, in chapter 1, it says Satan came, the sons of God came to present themselves, and Satan was there too. It didn't say present himself. It didn't say present himself to the Most High. So, with that being said, like, a lot of Christians will say, okay, well, Satan didn't present himself. The other angels did, but Satan didn't. But here in chapter 2, verse 1, we read that Satan previously presented himself, and he presented himself the same way this time too. So we're going to continue to read. He's bowing down to the Most High. If Satan is the Most High enemy, why is he bowing down to the Most High? Why is he worshiping the Most High? Why is he taking commands from the Most High? He's supposed to be the Most High enemy. Christianity teaches that it's a war between God and Satan. It's a war going on. And ain't nobody safe. Because Christianity tells you that it's a war going on between the angels, 2/3 of the angels and the Most High. They up in heaven probably getting it down. They going to war. Like the Most High is a fleshly man. That's what Christianity teach our people. They teach them flesh, that the Most High is basically like flesh. Like he think like how we think. But in the scriptures it say the wisdom of the Lord is far beyond our understanding, far beyond our knowledge. So with that being said, let's read a little more, which we shouldn't have to read too much more, because Christians should see this. But once again, we're going to read chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 2, Shalaki. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord, and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So Satan said the same thing. He's coming to give his report unto the Most High. Give his report unto the Most High. Talk to the Most High. Let the Most High know what's been going on. Like, who he been tempting, what he been doing. Enemies don't do that. Enemies most definitely do not report to one another. Oh, okay, see, I was trying to take you out over here on King's Highway, but I got detoured and I went around the corner to Delmar, so You know, that enemies don't do that. Enemies don't give reports of all their actions, of all the things they do. Somebody under your rank give you report. So Satan is under the Most High's rank. You know, let's read verse 3. Now let's skip down a little bit and get right to the meat of it. You know, get right to the meat of it. Okay, we gonna skip down to verse 6. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. You know, he is in thy hand. The Most High gave Satan power to do whatever it is that he wanted to do to Job, but he could not take his life. He gave him rules. He gave him power, but he gave him rules also. You know, so he gave him rules, he gave him laws. Okay, so with that being said, that should be enough for people to understand that. You got a question, sir? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. No, we just answering questions about Christianity. Exposing Christianity for the lies that, you know, it has all through it. You got a question? Yeah. Ain't nobody talking to you.
The question was, do the woman and the man still have wedding ceremonies when you're married, or once you're in the truth, couple no longer practice the white man tradition?
I mean, well, you know, the jumping the broom, the throwing of the rice, the ring, the going down there wearing wedding dresses and stuff like that. That's the white man's tradition. But we did have ceremonies. We did have ceremonies in the Bible. We have ceremonies in the truth. You know, it's brothers and sisters getting married. Once you have sex with your spouse or with your significant other, y'all are considered married. But you can celebrate that marriage. It ain't nothing wrong with celebrating a marriage, acknowledging a marriage, letting your people and your family know they come celebrate with you a marriage. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we did it back in the old times. You know, go ahead.
So like, it's already saying like the reception after?
Right, something like that, like a reception. You know, that's why black people love receptions, cause we've been doing receptions. Once we get married, we a party. We most definitely gonna party. Are y'all married now? Thank God. Well, everybody married now. Come on, let's go party. That's how we used to do it. That's why it says it in the Bible. You know, but sex is the marriage. Now, you know, partying and stuff because y'all married is nothing wrong with that. That is not the white man's tradition. But that wedding dress, that ring, put a ring on it like Beyonce said, you know, all of that stuff is the white man's tradition. Throwing the rice, jumping on the brooms. I think the jumping on the broom is an African tradition, I believe. The white man just take all types of cultures and he just intertwine them in one. You know, that's what they was trying to do at the Tower of Babel. You know, so I hope that answers the question. You got any more questions about Christianity and their false belief? That comes from Christianity too. That wedding stuff, you know, that comes from Christianity. You know, that's why your pastor is the one that be over there trying to get y'all married, but be the same one trying to sleep with your wife behind your back. Pastor is crooked as all his. But yeah, let's expose some more of Christianity lies. What was that other question that one sister had? Because we looked at the praying over the food. You know, Christians try to pray over the food. You know, we expose that. We expose what? Satan. Let's expose the Immaculate Conception. We need to expose that because, you know, or the Immaculate Deception. That's what we should say. You know, Immaculate deception. We're gonna expose that because a lot of Christians teach, well, all Christians teach that Christ was born of the Lord. Shalaki, that Christ was born of the Lord, but Christ was born of a man. You know, Christ had to come from the lineage of David, and you are who your father is. You know, Israel, the Bible, and the Lord goes by the man. Because if I give y'all a little biology lesson real fast, you know, when a man and a woman have sex and, you know, have intercourse, you know, the semen comes out of the man. Now that semen is alive already. That semen is alive, and not only is it alive, but it's 100% of the man. So that's why we don't believe. That's why the Bible teach that there is no mixed race. Now you might have characteristics from the mother, because once the semen enters the egg, you know, the semen starts to develop. Now, of course, as it's developing, it's starting to take on the characteristics of the woman. It's taking characteristics in DNA from the woman. You know, so, but originally it was 100% of the man. You know, so with that being said, that baby is that man's baby. That's why every nation knows this. Every nation knows that you are who your father is. That's why when nations go to war, they capture and kill all the men and keep alive all the women. Because they know once they have intercourse with the woman, you know that child that they had intercourse with, and once that woman get pregnant, and that child is his. That child is of their nation. Shalaki. Getting a little sick. But yeah, that child is of that nation, of that man. You know, so it doesn't matter what the woman is. Of course, now you're gonna have characteristics of the woman. You're gonna look like the woman, son. Yeah, because you still are from the woman. You got DNA from the woman, but majority of all your DNA comes from the man. It comes from the man. The semen is already alive. You know, if you look up under a microscope at semen, it moves. So how do women give life for that matter? You know, if the semen is already alive, how do women give life? I don't understand that when a woman quick to say, well, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. Yeah, you birthed the child, but you didn't give life. They try to think that the conscious community try to make the woman out to be God, because she can birth a child. But what is the man? The man is beneath the woman in the conscious community because they believe that the woman is giving life. The man gave life. The man, once that semen came out of that man created life. You know, scientists, the white man being the devil that the Bible speaks of course, he want to be like the Most High, and he want to do things like the Most High. He want to create life. But you know, he's close to creating life. He's close to making like test tube babies and all of that type of stuff. The white man is the devil. He's always somewhere in the lab trying to conjure up some crap. You know, but the reason why I brought that up is because, you know, the white man is closer to creating life using just the sperm than he is with just the egg. The egg is not a living thing. I mean, it has life. If your eggs is dead, of course, you know, you're not gonna be able to birth no child. But it's not moving, it's not alive, it's not stuff like that. You know, of course, the body pushes the egg sometimes, I think of the fallopian tubes or something like that, but, you know, it is not moving on its own. It's not alive. The egg is not growing. The semen inside of the egg is growing. You know, that's what's growing. That's the child. The semen is the child. You know, I believe the semen is like your brain and like your brain stem. You know, that goes down your spine. And it develops from there. You know, it looks exactly like that. Don't quote me on it, but that's what it looks like when you look at it under a microscope and you look at, go ahead, sir.
Just about the life part, and the man give a life. When he releases his semen out of him and into the woman, it's like close to 5 million kids
Right.
at one time fighting to go make it to one to you know to
Right. To the
make
egg.
to make it to the egg to become that life.
Right.
Take your life into the egg.
Right, to grow. It needs the egg, don't get me wrong. The semen needs the egg to grow, but once that man ejaculates and that semen comes into that woman, it's so many, like the sister said. It's like 1,000,000 of them. 1,000,000 of them. You know, and all of them trying to live. All of them is trying to live. Well, they already alive. They're trying to continue to live. They're trying to grow. They're trying to evolve from one stage of life to the next stage of life. You know, they all just swimming to the egg, trying to break into the egg. You know, and that one lucky semen out of 1,000,000 of them breaks into that egg. Maybe 2 of them. I think that's how twins come about, if I'm not mistaken. You know, you and your sister was fighting together. Y'all tag team the eggs. Go ahead.
Actually, if one seem to make it to the egg splits into 2. So that it would be some powerful, you know.
Right. Right. So the new caller, state your name and where you calling from. Shalom, Mark. How you feeling?
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, Yabashim, Shabbat. Yeah, we exposing Christianity today. We got some questions on Christianity.
Right, so what was that you said?
I said we exposing Christianity today. We exposing all the lies that Christianity tells and all the misteachings that Christianity teaches our people and further confuse our people. So if you if you got some questions, just go ahead, and if you want to chime in anytime, just go ahead.
Alright, I don't have any right now.
All right. Shalom, place your phone on mute for me, y'all. What? Yeah, now like the men and sisters talking about, like, you know, the eggs, I believe identical twins, I believe identical twins is the semen split in half, I believe, and unidentical, what they call twins that are not, go ahead. Fraternal twins, I believe that them 2 different separate semen going into the egg. You know, like, so I believe that's the ones that are identical, I believe is the semen split in half, and the ones that are fraternal, you know, is 2 separate semen getting into the egg. You know, so, you know, that's just like, you know, like the white man, I forget what we was on exposing. Oh yeah, we was on exposing Christ. Because Christians love to teach that Christ was of the Most High. You know, well, he was, but the Most High didn't impregnate Mary. They trying to make it seem like God coming down here smashing people's walls and stuff. Like, Christianity is wicked. It's all here. Shalaki. Christianity is wicked, it's all here. You know, teaching that, you know, they get that from the Greek mythology. They teach that, okay, Constantine at the Council of Nicaea, they created that there. They basically created Christianity at the Council of Nicaea. The different councils that they had, like what they're going to teach, what they believe in. Christianity was formed off of that, you know. But the Jews, the fake Jews, the white man, the Khazars, or whatever you want to call them, the Germans or Russians or whatever they are, Turkish or whatever. But them fake people, the Romans, the Jewish people, and the Greeks all created basically Christianity. At the Council of Nicaea, you could look this up in your encyclopedia. Look up the Councils of Nicaea or Constantine, the Emperor Constantine. They created Christianity there, and they got whether they tried to teach like whether Christ was of man, basically like they was trying to decide whether Christ was either they was gonna teach that Christ was a man or Christ was a God. And they came up, of course they wanted the Greeks to get in on their religion too. They wanted the Greeks to get in on there, so they adopted some of the Greeks' traditions, like Greek mythology. They adopted some of that. And then so they basically put Christ as like Hercules. Christ and Hercules are one and the same people. That's where Christ comes from according to Christianity. So, and we're going to expose that today because black people that's in the Christian church, they don't know how to interpret the Bible. They don't know how to read in context. And that's all because of the Christian pastor teaching them wrong, different stuff like that. That's all because of that. They misleading the flock of the Lord. They misleading this flock. So with that being said, we're going to go to Shalaki. Let's go to Matthew. We're going to go with Matthew first. Shalaki. Trying to get my precepts in order. Yeah, we're going to go to Matthew, and we're going to read, because a lot of Christians don't know how Hebrew Israelites, how they married back then. You got to understand the culture and the traditions of the Hebrew Israelites to know what took place with Mary and Joseph. You have to understand those things to even understand what's going on in Matthew. So Shalaki, we're gonna go to John chapter 7 and 38 first. Shalaki. John chapter 7 verse 38. John chapter 7 verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So you gotta believe on Christ. I brought this scripture out because you gotta believe on Christ. You gotta believe that that Christ is of a man. You gotta believe that. He that believeth on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Out of the bellies of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's Christ's lineage. You gotta believe the scriptures in order. You gotta believe the scriptures in order to to understand that Christ was not born of a God. He was not demigod. That would make him demigod if the Lord, the Most High, got Mary pregnant, then Christ would be a demigod. That's basically what he is. That's what Hercules did. I think his Zeus slept with I forgot her name, Nefertiti or something. The human woman that Zeus slept with to create Hercules. That's why he was half God, half man. That's where they get Christ from. The Most High sleeping with Mary. Impregnating Mary. So furthermore, they teach that, Mary was a virgin. But virgin in Hebrew doesn't mean the same version. When you translate the Hebrew, you see that it says, you see Alma. And you see, Alma means Alma, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Alma, means virgin. But virgin in Hebrew means a woman of marriageable age. She could or could not have had sex. She was just of marriageable age. That's what virgin means in Hebrew. But when you translate the scriptures, you see that word and you say, oh, okay, that means virgin. Of course, when you translating something, you're not putting it in your own words, because that would be a version. You're translating it, meaning you're taking one word in one language and saying the same word in another language. But virgin nowadays means a woman that did not have intercourse ever. She hasn't had intercourse yet. That's what it means. So when they see that word virgin, they thinking of it in an English context. They thinking of it in an English definition, and that's not how you should look at it. That's one flaw. That's why, in reality, if we wouldn't have went in slavery as many times as we have had, we wouldn't have to translate our scriptures, our history book, our history. We won't have to translate it in so many different languages, and further get watered down. It gets watered down like that because people don't know what virgin means in Hebrew. The Israelites don't know Hebrew anymore. The Lord took away their culture and their heritage. Took away our culture and our heritage. But these brothers in the Isupk, we teach in Hebrew. We got Hebrew classes every Friday. On YouTube, on Facebook, on so many different media outlets, it's ridiculous. We on every media outlet out there. We've been given an order to raise the dead. And how we gonna reach the four corners of the earth? Through the media. We gonna reach the four corners through the media. And that's why we on every media outlet. But you can find them Hebrew classes on Fridays on different media outlets. So with that being said, we're gonna get into some more scriptures, because like John 7:38 was saying, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Meaning, that's just a metaphor for the Lord blessing us having sands of the sea, to be as numerous as sands of the sea. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But he said Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that their lineage will be as numerous as the sands of the sea. That's what it means by out of his belly. We come out of the man. Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Christ came from a man. Shalaki. So let's go to John 7:42. Let's jump down to verse 42. John chapter 7 verse 42. Has not the scripture said that Christ cometh of the seed of David? The seed of David. Christ came from the seed. He came from the seed. What seed? The Most High? He came from the Most High seed. The Most High came down and started smashing Mary. Mary got pregnant and Joseph was upset. Wouldn't that be committing adultery? The Most High committed adultery then. Lord forbid. See, Christianity makes the Most High look fleshly. I said that earlier in class. Christianity makes the Most High look fleshly. Like he have our thoughts, he have our ways, he have our knowledge, our wisdom. That's how Christianity makes the Lord look. Shalaki. But this scripture, verse 42 said, Christ cometh of the seed of David, out in and out of the town of Bethlehem, where David was. Christ came from the seed of David. The Messiah had to come from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He had to. You know, that's what all the scriptures is about, Christ. You know, the Messiah coming from the lineage of David. Shalaki. You know, that's one verse. It's many verses showing that Christ came from the seed of David. What's the seed? That's the semen that me and the sister was talking about earlier. That's the semen from the man. Christ came from semen. Who's semen? The Most High don't have semen. I'm pretty sure he don't. He just create things. He don't even create things. He have things created. He don't have to work. He don't have to do nothing. He just speak it into existence and it happens. You know, but that's the Most High. You know, we making the Most High out to be a man. You know, if he wanted Christ to be born just naturally, why did he have to come down there and impregnate Mary? He could have just made Christ pop up out of the blue. Just pop up from a rock. He could have just, boom, snapped his fingers. If he had fingers, he don't have fingers. Then we gonna make him the Lord unto a human. But you know, the Most High, that's just more of a saying. You know, but the Most High just could pop it, snap his fingers, and Christ could just appear. He don't need Mary. What he need Mary for? And furthermore, that would be committing adultery because that was Joseph's wife. The angel said, don't be afraid to take unto your wife, Joseph. We know that sex is marriage in the Bible. So why would the angel say, don't be afraid to take your wife, Mary? They had to have sex already. You know, so let's drop that and let's go to Romans 1 and 3. Because we gonna cut Christians today. I'm tired of them teaching our people all these lies and misunderstandings, having these misunderstandings. Our people walking around thinking God got Mary pregnant. Now they worshiping Mary and doing all types of crazy stuff. You know, Shalaki. Romans chapter 1 verse 3. Concerning the Son Jesus Christ our Lord, which was made of the seed of David. There go that seed word again. He came from the seed of David. You know, Shalaki, according to the flesh. He said according to the flesh. Christ was made of flesh. He's not demigod. He's not half God, half amazing. That's not Christ. You know, Shalaki. That's what Christians teach, though. Shalaki. You know, that's what Christians teach. Christians teach that, you know, the Most High got Mary pregnant. That is just a lie. You know, so let's continue to cut the Christians. Let's go to Luke 2 and 36. All throughout the scriptures, the Old Testament, the New Testament, we could go on for days, you know, but I'm only going to read this one more scripture. You know, there's many more scriptures that prove a Christian wrong and stuff like that, but I believe this should be broken down to the smallest fraction enough where Christians can get it. If not, Lord be with you. Luke chapter 2 verse 36. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with a husband 70 years with her virginity. You know, see, that's showing you what virginity is according to, you know, the Hebrew. It's showing you what virginity is. It said that she was of a great age and had lived with a husband 7 years from her virginity. You know, that's when 7 years in her youth. That's what it's talking about. You know, she lived with her husband 7 years from her virginity. You know, so it's showing you what virginity actually is in the Bible. See, this context is using virginity like a young woman. Like I told you, like what Alma means. It's using it as young woman. A young woman of marriageable age. You know, she could have or could not have had sex. You know, and this scripture is using virginity in that way. The Bible uses, it means when it say virgin or virginity, it means it in that way, not the English way, not the English definition. A woman who have not had intercourse. You know, Shalaki. You know, that's what virgin or virginity means. So when they say that, when they say Christ was made of a virgin, that's what they mean. That's what the scriptures mean. You misunderstanding me. You know, let's go to an Old Testament verse real fast, and then we're gonna drop that and cut some more Christians with some other stuff. I believe sister has another question. Reading all the questions down. 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 12. Because we got to jump in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Because Christians, they love to say, oh, well, that's the New Testament, or that's the Old Testament, or that's this. You know, I love to give them verses in both of them because it's about 3 or 4 precepts to break down any and everything. That's how you know whether it means that or not. If you want to know, if you read a verse and you want to know what it means, ask for the precepts. You know, if you want understanding on it, you got to ask for the precept because it's 2 or 3 verses in the Bible to break down that interpretation. And if it's not, then that interpretation is wrong. You know, so when the Christians say, Shalakia, the Lord loves the whole world, and you only see one person saying that, you know, saying the Lord loves the whole world, you know, that's not what he means. So you got to come up with some other understanding, some other interpretation, because that's not what the Lord is saying. You know, 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 14. Verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee. Now he's saying when King David died, he gonna set up his seed after him. You know, I will set up thy seed after thee, meaning his children from his lineage. It might necessarily not mean his direct child, but it's from his lineage. So it's either his great grandson, 3-time great, 4-time great, whenever it comes. But it's going to come from his lineage. Which shall proceed out of thy bowels. Meaning, that's going to come from King David. Christ has to come for him to be the Messiah, for him to have the kingdom, for him to have the staff of rulership, the rod of rulership, for him, and that's what Christ has. You know, for him to be the Messiah, for him to be the Christ, he has to come from the seed of David. The Lord is saying it right here. You know, and I will establish his kingdom. You know, I will establish his kingdom. You know, Christ got the everlasting kingdom. He's the Messiah. So, with that being said, Shalaki, with that being said, you know Christ came from the Most High. You know, what is some other teachings that Christianity has that, you know, that is a lie? You know, what other teachings do they have, period? I'll just tell you whether it's a lie or not. Go ahead, sis.
The breaking the bread and drinking the wine, saying it's the blood.
Oh, the breaking the bread and the teaching that you eating Christ's body and drinking his blood, that's cannibalism. I thought cannibalism was a sin. Why would we be practicing cannibalism if cannibalism is a sin? Another false teaching that Christianity teaches. You know, Christianity is diabolical. You know, Christ, why would you want to be eating Christ's blood and drinking Christ's blood and eating his body anyway. Nowhere in the scriptures say that you're supposed to do that. But it does talk about cannibalism in the scriptures. It does say that's a sin. So why would you be drinking Christ's blood, even if it's a metaphor? You're not literally doing it. Why would there be a metaphor? Why would like Christ, he had a lot of parables. Christ taught a lot of parables. He taught in parables. Why would Christ teach a parable about something that is unlawful? You know, like the multiple wives. Christ had a parable about the 10 virgins that came to meet the bridegroom. The 10 bridesmaids that came to meet the bridegroom. So he's making a parable about multiple wives. You know, he's making a parable using multiple wives. Why would, if multiple wives was unlawful, why would Christ make a parable about it and righteousness? He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't say like, okay, what if you did this and that and this and that, but it's a sin, but what if you did it? Christ wouldn't do that. You know, he wouldn't make a parable about something that is unlawful. You know, so we seen in 2 Samuel, you know, that's all false. You know, like the sister said, she said the breaking of the bread of the body, Christianity teach that. That's cannibalism, that's false. You know, Christians hate the Most High. Christianity was formed, Christianity was formed by white homosexuals. You know, what else do Christians teach? Let me see. Yashar, you got something to say? You got another statement, sir?
No, so like they teach like water baptism and confessing with your mouth for your sins, and then you should be forgiven.
No. She said they teach water baptism. Water baptism, you know, it's cool to do a baptism. It's symbolic, you know, but baptism is not going to change. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments is going to change. Everybody think, okay, once you get dipped in that water, you're going to be a whole new person. You're going to be righteous. It's all ever. And that's not the case. You still going to be that wicked demon that been running the earth, running around. Go ahead. Right. You think you're going to get dipped in some water, you ain't going to be a homosexual no more. You got to fight that demon. You got to fight that demon. And she also said something else about confessing my sins and I should be forgiven. Repentance is two things. It's two things to repentance. You know what it is? What's the first one? How do you repent? Go ahead. Right. You change. You ask for forgiveness, and then you change. You don't commit sin anymore. That's forgiveness. If you just ask for forgiveness, but you never change your ways, then the Lord you're still in sin. The Lord hadn't forgave you. Go ahead, you got something to say?
Remember I just brought up how I know someone had passed away and all the people at her funeral, they told them to bring hot fries to put on casket. So she committed suicide, and the preacher at her funeral was so standing firm that if she took her life and in her last breath, if she called on the name of Jesus,
she was saved.
He stood on it. He had the whole house jumping.
Right. That's it. Prancing and all types of stuff. If she said before she killed herself, she said, "Lord, forgive me, because I'm finna kill myself, which is a sin. But forgive me. I'm finna jump off this building and kill myself. And I hope that you forgive me." And the preacher is teaching that she was forgiven. She died in sin. She died because of sin. The Lord allowed her to kill herself because she was a sinner. She is not forgiven. She's not going to heaven. She's not forgiven. The Lord, if the Lord has mercy on her, He might send her spirit back out and let her try again. Go ahead.
So like they teach, I don't know if you said it, but so like when you die, you go, no, if you kill yourself, you go to hell.
Right. If you kill yourself, you go to hell. There is no hell. There is no hell. Hell is a condition. Hell is like you starving to death. You been on drugs. The white man oppressing you. The white man killing your kids. You know, that's hell. That's hell for us. We ain't going to no little place. Like, the white man gets that from Dante's Inferno. We're not going to no little place under the ground with no red guy. He got a pitchfork. You think you about to go down there kick it with Satan because they believe it's Satan that's in under the ground. But all of that devil stuff comes from Dante's Inferno. You know, there is no hell. I mean, there is no hell. It's a condition. You know, the gnashing of teeth. What more will cause you national teeth than seeing your baby get killed? Seeing your child strung out on drugs or being raped and molested. That's hell. That's hell that's hell for the children of Israel. You know, that's hell for them. You know, so, you know, with that being said, like, Christianity is just diabolical, man. You know, let's go into that. Let's jump into that. Give me Matthew chapter 6 and 10. We're going to jump into heaven and hell. Are we on the topic? So you can see I'm just not saying stuff. It's in the scriptures. Now, Matthew chapter 6 verse 10 reads, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. You know, heaven is a condition. It's a condition heaven, it's a condition hell. When it talks about the children of Israel, when it talks about the angels falling from heaven, you know, that's us. We fell from heaven. The angel just means servant. You know, angel just means servant. The children of Israel were servants unto the Most High. He was our Father. He was our Lord. He was our Master. He's our King. He's our everything. You know, the Lord is our everything. So, with that being said, you know, we fell from heaven. We fell from being blessed. And we fell into hell. Now we see our kids get destroyed. We get destroyed. We're being oppressed. We're being killed left and right. The police is hunting our steps. Different things like that, you know. We're living in hell. We're living in hell, and it's so many things that's taking place to us. You know, so let's get another verse. Revelation chapter 5, verse 10. You know, that's the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6 and 10. And the reason why I pulled that is because, like the Lord said, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You know, not we go to heaven and do the things there. Everything gonna happen on earth as it is in heaven. You know, so let's go to Revelation chapter 5, verse 10. to show you that heaven is a condition. So is hell. But we're going to get some more verses on. Should I? Revelation chapter 5, verse 10. And has made us unto our kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. We shall reign on the earth. That means, like in the Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Let thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespass as we forgive those. Like in the Lord's Prayer, and how the way you should pray is telling you all that you need to know. That we are made for the earth. We are made from the earth. If the Lord wanted us to dwell in heaven, He would have made us angels. He would have made us angels if He wanted us to dwell in heaven. Why would we die? We go to heaven. You know, in Revelation it's talking about reigning on earth forever. You know, and we shall reign on the earth. We shall reign on the earth. We ain't going to heaven. Heaven is a condition. You know, our spirit might go back to the Most High, which resides in heaven, but you is not going to be in Thug's mansion, kicking it, with Tupac and Nas and Biggie and all of them. Y'all, they is not in heaven kicking it right now. We're not going to be shaking up with the angels. No. Heaven on earth. You know, the white man will not be in charge anymore. Shalaki, give me Revelations 21 and 2. Revelation chapter 21 verse 2. And I John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down. Not the New Jerusalem, we going up to New Jerusalem in the heavens. New Jerusalem was coming down. Coming down where? Coming down where? To heaven, to earth. It's coming from heaven. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. It was coming down from heaven to the earth. You know, which just a metaphor for us reigning on the earth. You know, we're going to reign on the earth. We're going to take control of the earth. We're going to build the city of New Jerusalem. You know, we're going to be given the new city of Jerusalem from the Most High when He sends Christ. You know, let's get some more. Let's get Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. Shalaki. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 16. And moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Under the sun. There go that under the sun thing. What's under the sun? The earth. The earth resides under the sun. That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Verse 17. And I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and every work. So he said, and I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there. There is a time there. Where is there? On earth, under the sun. That's where the there is at. Heaven is not, we're not going to heaven. Hell is a condition. Hell is you know, you going through some things. You going through trials and tribulations. Satan coming to tempt you. That's what hell is. Job went through hell. When Satan asked the Most High, can he tempt Job? Job went through hell. He was in hell. He didn't have to die and a little red dude was torturing him. No, that's not how things work. You know, so Christians always teaching something false. You know, they always teaching, they don't know the Bible, they can't teach the Bible. Furthermore, you should not be in the Christian church because it's the place of Satan. You know, the Lord said He don't even dwell in temples made by men. You know, I'm paraphrasing. So you know the Most High ain't in that church. The Most High is everywhere you is. You know, the Most High is in you. You know, the law, statutes, and commandments is where the Most High is at. You keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, what does Christianity be having now? Go ahead.
Well, human beings can get to know God through prayer and worship and mystical experience.
What? So that sounds like mysticism. That sounds like mysticism and the Sephiroth and that meditating stuff, and they think they can ascend out of their body and go up to the Most High and be with the Most High and stuff like that. Like, no, you're not about to ascend out of your body and go to the Most High. You're not going to do that. You know, that's that mysticism. That's a form of Judaism, which is another religion that needs to go. All religions of the world is for confusion. We don't have no religion. Being a Hebrew Israelite is not a religion. I hate when people say that. Your religion, your religion. No, it's not a religion. It's my ethnicity. It's my race. I am a Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew is my language. Israelite is my nationality. Shalaki. They be like, oh, that's your religion? Well, that's your religion. I don't believe in that. Like, nigga, that's not a religion. And after you tell them it's not a religion, they always do a Christian thing and say it's a religion anyway, still. Well, whatever religion it is. I say it's not a religion, it's an ethnicity. Well, whatever religion it is. What you mean? I just said it was not a religion. You know, Christians just don't know how to think. I think they need to go see the wizard and get a brain. Because they know nothing. You know, Christians just do and say whatever it is that they want to do and say. They don't keep the Lord's commandments. Shalaki, I'm sick a little bit, trying to get sick. But Shalaki, bear with me. You know, what else Christianity teach? You know, I forgot to bring out that one script. Okay, let's bring out Deuteronomy 32 and 22. Okay, good. Send that out, cause that's a deliberate hell scripture. You know. See, us brothers in the UPK, you better get into class, cause these brothers in the UPK got these scriptures to cut you left and right with. You know, better get in class. Better learn what the Lord wants you to do. Shalaki. Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountain. Now the Lord said, and shall burn unto the lowest hell. The lowest hell is on earth. You know, the Lord's anger, he's about to send you through the worst hell. The lowest one. The lowest one, what is that? Probably death. You know, or torture. You know, torture, I would think torture is worse than death. Because after you get tortured, when you get tortured, you be wanting to die. You would rather die than to be tortured. And the Lord said his anger burns to the lowest hell. You know, and he said, and shall consume the earth with her increase. Shall consume the earth. You know, how hell gonna consume the earth? You know, how a place going to consume another place? That don't make sense. Places don't consume things. Now, if it was a condition, it would consume something. It could consume the humans. The Lord, it makes sense. In this context, it makes sense. But when the Christians say, and they try to break it down, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense how a place can consume another place. That doesn't make sense. You know, so I hope that helps these Christianites with their scriptures, you know. Because them Christians, them pastors, all they really want is that money. Only law they really teaching is that money law. That 10%. They said if you're really righteous, you will pay 20. They want 20% now. They want to see how righteous you is. Shalaki. You know, what else Christianity teach? We covered the virgins. We covered what? Heaven and hell. We covered the angels. We covered a lot. You know, Christianity got so many false teachings, you know, that it just needs to go. You know, it just needs to go. But I'm gonna get into Shalaki. I'm just gonna get into what we supposed to be doing. Since I got into what we ain't supposed to be doing, you know, what we are supposed to be doing. So let's get that right now, you know, because if you love the Most High, you will keep His commandments. You know, Shalaki. Shalaki. Bear with me, bro. Let's go to John chapter 14, verse 15. John chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. The Lord made it that simple. If you love the Lord, you will keep the Most High commandments. You will not steal from your brother. You will not kill your brother. You will not put no laws, no items, no images, no false gods, no pagan gods above the Most High. You will keep those commandments. You will know that them the things you're supposed to be doing. Because if you love the Most High, you're going to do them. The Most High said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. He made it that simple. In John chapter 14 and 15, He made it that simple. You know, and I will pray, verse 16, and I will pray the Father, and He shall give you another comforter, that He may abide with you forever. That's Christ. You know, that's the Holy Spirit, Shalaki. The Holy Spirit shall abide with you forever. You know, them the laws. You know, the laws bring you comfort. You know, the laws bring you peace. When you keeping the laws of the Most High, He's blessing you. You have no worries. You know, you ain't going to have no worries. You keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You ain't got to be worried about getting killed from the white man, getting killed by the white man. Shalaki. You know, so with that being said, is there any more questions? You ain't got no more questions? Got something you want to say, sis?
Sloppy.
Go ahead,
I was just trying to get an understanding on Ezekiel 37 and 25, what it says when it says that King David will be our prince forever.
King David will be our prince forever.
Yeah, Ezekiel 37 and 25.
Let me go to it right now. I'm gonna get it. 37 and 25.
What kind?
Read it out. Yes, sir.
What kind?
Read that verse for me.
Okay. Right. Ezekiel 37 and 25. and they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they, and their children, and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever.
Now, it said, my servant David will be their prince forever, meaning David's lineage will forever go on. You know, David lineage will forever be the rulers of Israel. Who's the king of Israel?
David.
Huh?
Said, who's the king?
Yeah, who's the king of Israel?
David was the king of Israel.
David was the king of Israel. Who's the king forever? Go ahead, sis.
Yahushua.
Yahushua, correct. Yahushua, what lineage do we come from? Go ahead, sis.
King David.
King David, right. We just got on that Christ came from the seed of David. He got to come from the seed of David. And we got on that scripture, we read the precept for that earlier. You know, and I was established his kingdom forever. The Most High established David's kingdom forever. With who? Christ. Christ is an everlasting king. He's going to be our everlasting king. He's going to be the king in New Jerusalem. In the kingdom of heaven, when we rule in the earth, he's going to be the king. That's why it said, that's why you notice in halfway in the verse in it, and it said, and they shall dwell therein, even they, and their children's children, and their children, and their children's children, forever. That will always be our land. We will always rule the world. Even though we're not ruling the world right now, we will always rule the world. As long as we get back into good graces with the Most High, we will always rule. It's always set up for us to rule. You know, we just got to get it together. We just got to come get what we owe, what we own. You know, the Lord just waiting on us to wake up. You know, like when your son do something and you kick him out the house. You know, he's still your son. He's still going to get your inheritance. But he's not going to get it until he come back and act right. You got to come back and act right first. You know, but he's still your son. You can't just not, he cannot just be not your son anymore. Because he comes from you. He comes from your lineage. And that's what the Most High has said. You know, forever, that shall be our land. Forever we shall be rulers. Forever we shall be the seed of David. Forever we shall be the children of the Most High. Forever we shall be the sons of God. You know, even though we're not acting like sons of God because we're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But that's what that scripture means. That's what setting up King David, and my servant David shall be their prince forever. That's why I said prince. Because King David, it doesn't, that's how you know it means lineage. Because King David wasn't a prince, he was a king. But it said prince. So what's a prince to a king? It's his son, his children. He's going to set up rulership in his son and his children. It reiterates it with children's children. You know, so the most time the breakdown when you read the scripture, most times the breakdown either right before the scripture or right after the scripture or within that same scripture, that same verse. You know, so for future reference, you just look into like the scripture, the same verse or something like that, or read a couple verses ahead. You know, so you can get the context of the verse. You know, but it's just talking about it, King David's children. That's why he said he will be a priest unto them forevermore. Forever, Shalaki, forever. You know. You understand, or you need some more?
I'm too wild, kind of time.
Yeah, is any more, Shalaki, I hear what you said. You said he too wild, right? Alright, yeah. Is there any more questions? You got another question on your show?
Right, sir.
Alright. You got some questions, sir? Alright. So with that being said, we're gonna call it one. Read the security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. You need transportation for the class, we'll arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or the sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tis, which is a commandment, pay your tithes, pay your tithes. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 and through 10. Pay your tithes to the school, to the ISUPK. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, which is Hebrew for tenth. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Being a child of Israel, being a part of that David lineage, being the chosen people of the Most High, you are obligated to pay 10% of every penny of any increase. I don't care where the increase came from. You know, the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. You know, give it to the priest of your school, and they will allocate it in the right place. They will send it to headquarters, or you can send it to the treasury department at the headquarters yourself. You know, whichever one is easier for you. Priestly fund, which is not a commandment. You know, it's free will offering for a priest. If you want to help a priest out, you know, I'm more than welcome with open pockets, you know, like Claire for $1. They could call me Rapayala $1. You could give me a couple dollars if you liked it to class. Tip me, and I'll give you all the scriptures. You know, throw $1 and I'm going to throw a scripture. You know, I'm going to throw it back at you. No, I'm just joking with you. But it's a free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to donate, you can. Up and coming holy convocations. Announce, okay. All Akium and Aquas to check the bulletin board in the hallway. Our bulletin board is right here on the wall, you know, in the St. Louis school. It's right there on the wall. The sister got it set up nice and neat. So you come in, you can see it. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, you must wear all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And scarf. Shalaki, war scarf. And with that being said, we are ISUPK under command of Jimmy Yohana, coming out of 125th Street, 1 West, Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group or organization for that matter. And shalom, that's my time, Akim.
Shalom, Yahweh Shemi Yahshua
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Lord in Christ,
Lord Christ.